So, today we are going to be talking about the EB2 National Interest Waiver, the EB2-NIW. In today's video, I want to go into a little bit more specification about the qualification so that you can really identify to know whether you qualify for the EB2 National Interest Waiver. And the benefits of having this is that you do get to live and work in the United States. It is a way for you to obtain your green card through your business or through your profession. And the best part about the EB2 National Interest Waiver, and that really separates it from other ordinary EB2 and other visas or any other applications or any other petitions, is the fact that you don't have to rely on a US-based company sponsoring your petition in order to live and work in the United States. So now you can absolutely see why this particular model of getting your green card is so attractive. And what's awesome about it is that we've had 98% success rate, so you can absolutely feel confident when you're working with us in order to get your green card and start living an American dream here through your business or through your profession. So don't forget to reach out to us below. Let's talk about some qualification. The qualification in order to see whether or not this is the right way for you to get your permanent residency and live, work in the United States. So firstly, it is for professionals or entrepreneurs. And what do they mean by professionals? So they want the people that actually have some kind of degree from their university. Now, this could be an advantage degree like a master's degree or a PhD or a doctorate. For instance, I'm a lawyer, right? So in order for me to have a post-degree, I had to complete not just my 4 year at the university, but also the postgraduate degree after the regular 4 years in the university in order to get a postgraduate degree, which is called the JD Juris Doctor. So there's lots of other examples like this in order for you to get your master's or doctorate. So they want to see not only if you maybe don't qualify necessarily for an advanced degree, but let's say you have a regular university degree from a 4-year college. For instance, not only would they allow that, but they also want to see if you have at least 10 years of the experience. Now, typically what they end up seeing is that you have one or another. I don't want to confuse you to where you think that you need to have a both. So either you have an advanced degree or you have a university degree within 10 years of experience. Now let's talk a little bit about the experience that you have to have. The United States government wants to see that the experience is actually progressive. And what does that necessarily mean? So unfortunately, the government doesn't have detailed guidelines on what is considered progressive experience. Now, that might mean that you could get totally confused to see whether or not that this is you or this is something for you or that you qualify. But the way that we look at it here is that it actually gives you a wide range of ways to show that you actually do have exceptional ability in a field, right? That you do have the progressive experience in your field. Typically what that means is that you are not stagnant, and there's different ways that you can show this. So, for example, you have received an increase in your salary, to which to show that you have to start it out on one base, and as you continue throughout your career, you are making more and more money. That's just one way to show it. Another way to show it is that you have received different types of titles. Maybe you started out with just a director, and then you turn out to be a managing director, and then regional director, and then national director. So you have to show different types of the titles within your professions that show that you have a skill through that time. Another thing that you can use to show is your duties and responsibilities throughout your career has significantly increased. So meaning that the more that you have worked and the more experience that you have had, your responsibilities have also increased. Your duties have also increased. Again, there are just some of the ways that you can show that your experience hasn't been stagnant, that you haven't just stayed in one position the entire time. But now that you have actually moved forward and progressed through your career, another thing that they're going to be looking for is whether or not you as a professional have an experience ability. Now, so many times have we seen clients here at the United States that they think, oh my gosh, This is not exceptional. The work that I do is not exceptional. My career history, my career path doesn't mean anything out of the ordinary, and I would really like to encourage you that absolutely it has. There are so many different professionals that we met that say there's no way that I qualify as something exceptional, when in fact, they have a conversation with us. When we see their eligibility, we actually can say this is absolutely something that the government will consider to be an exceptional ability. This is why, again, it is so important that you reach out to us and allow us to take a look at your qualifications to see if this is something that we can help you with. Well, maybe you don't even have any idea about what you qualify for as an exceptional ability. So, unlike other guidelines, they actually do have 7 different ways in which you can show that you do have an exceptional ability. I'm going to run through the list. The good thing is that you don't have to meet all the 7 of them. All you have to do is to meet 3. So let's get started with the 7 different criteria. First of all, they want to know whether or not you actually have a degree. That should be super simple to show, just with a transcript or just a proof of your diploma or degree in your area in which you have an exceptional ability. The other thing, do you have letters of recommendation? So this is going to be letters in which you peers, people in your field, authority figures, or actually can show and are willing to write and sign the fact that you do have at least 10 years of experience doing what you do as an exceptional professional. The other thing they are going to look at is your salary. Whether or not you have had an increase in your salary to command the fact that you are someone with an exceptional ability, that you are actually worth being paid for exceptional ability. That is for about people in your industry like peers. The other thing they want to see is whether or not you are participating in membership or organizations in your field. So they want to see that you are actively participating, having membership, stepping into a leadership role, and becoming in this organization. That really helps to solidify the fact that you do have an expertise in your area. The other thing they want to see is whether or not you have a recognition. So that is really big one, where we can show that you have been awarded or recognized for the work that you have been doing, or for the significant contribution that you have been making to your industry. They want to also see that you have been recognized either by the authorities, governments, peers, things of that nature, which actually show that your work is absolutely exceptional. Lastly, and my absolutely the favorite, the catch of all, do you have any other type of the evidence which is going to support or show to US government that you do have an exceptional ability? Some of you might think, how do you have any other kind of evidence? But that is why you can absolutely help you with this, because it's not necessarily the type of the evidence that you're going to be submitting that's important. The government actually wants to see the quality of the evidence that you're going to be showing. And when I mean evidence, I want to actually show you one of our cases, which is here in my hands for the EB2 National Interest Waiver. This is a lot of evidence, but this is exactly why we are experts in what we do. Because all of this is going to be helping you to be prepared a strong petition to increase your chances. This is something that we totally can help with. Once that you've been able to show that you are a professional as defined by USCIS, they're going to have some other criteria specifically which allows you to ask the government to waive the requirement of the labor certification, or having a company sponsor you, or having a job offer. So like I mentioned in other EB2s, you are going to be required to have an employer actually petitioning for you, but that is not the case with the National Interest Waiver. So it's actually going to be something that you are going to be asking for the United States government. Government, please waive my requirement that I don't need a job offer, or I don't need any employer to sponsor me, because of the fact that the work that I'm going to be doing is just so important that it outweighs the need for an employer to hire me or for me to have a job offer. And I'm going to go through that a little bit more in detail. So the first thing they are going to be looking for is whether or not your work is for substantial merit, and these are typically in the areas of the engineering, technology, and the health. These are the things that United States really is looking to attract here in the United States because they are some of the most important within our government and within our culture, right? So what is substantial merit? We want to make sure that those things are of importance. It's actually going to change the trajectory of these areas within the United States, and some of the things could be it is going to have an impact on the economy, it is going to have an impact on the health, in general, in the health system within the United States. It is going to help with the science, like in engineering within the United States. These are going to be some of the things that are going to be looking for to show that you have a substantial merit and that your work is really valuable within the United States. Once you're able to show that the work you are going to be doing is of substantial merit, you want to show that it's actually going to have a national impact. That's right. That is going to be important within all 50 states of the United States, not just in California, but also in New York and in Florida and everywhere in between. They want to make sure that the problem that you're addressing or the impact that you're going to be having isn't going to be limited to just a part of the United States, but in fact is actually going to benefit the entire nation as a whole. Now again, you don't want to get overwhelmed, right? The work that I'm going to may not necessarily qualify for this, when in fact, if you hit in those areas that we mentioned, there are absolutely ways that we can help show your case would absolutely have a national impact for the benefits of the United States. And again, the government is going to be looking how impact is the work that you are going to be doing in comparison with the need to protect United States job market. So we want to show that it's not so important to require that an employer is actually going to be hiring you or submitting your petition for you, but that the work that you're going to be doing is so important that it outweighs the need for an employer or for a job offer. And that's really what we are looking for when they are doing the national interest waiver petition. I wanted to share with you some of the ways in which you can show that the work that you are going to be doing is of the substantial merit and also of the national importance. And the first thing is the publications. Have you been published? Have you written any articles? Have you written any books? Have you put out written work for other people to see so that you are really presenting the work that you're doing in an authoritative way? That's the first thing, is the publications. The other things is have other people, other professionals, other authorities, other people in your industry look to your publications and cite it to it. So not only you are published and your work is out there, but other professionals are actually learning into that work and using it for a basis for their own publication and for their own work as well. The other thing you are going to be looking for is the letter of recommendation. So do you have notable people in your industry, in your field, who are authorities that they're also saying, I recommend that person be admitted into the United States because the work that he is doing is of such a significance and importance. They also want to see that work you have been doing has been for at least 10 years as well out there. So letters of recommendation is a solid way, in an essential way, in order to show that yes, the work that you are doing is of national importance and that is in the best interest of the United States to bring you in here within the EB2 national interest waiver. So another way that we can show this is not just your publication, which we mentioned just a moment ago, but are these publications about you? So have you had any kind of the media coverage, maybe on national recognized publications or media outlets that may not just our national, but even maybe globally accessible? These are things that are also going to show that you really are notable, that you are an authority, because other people have been wanting to write about you, to publish about you lastly. Maybe you have patents or contracts that show that you have work that you are doing so actually needed and required by other people in your industry. So what do I mean by the patents are protection around the inventions? Maybe you have created some kind of patent product or system or something along those lines in which you have actually legally secured the ownership of those inventions, and not only do you own them, but you are also licensing them out. You are giving other people in your industry permission to use those. The other things that we can lean on those industry standards, so you have to contribute or create standards in which other peers look for to meet standards that are widely used in your area of expertise. Now, these are just some of the things that you can show, and again, you don't have to meet every single one of these criteria, but you do need to meet a significant portion, because remember, these applications are massive, and that's why you would want someone like us helping you to put together these very strong petitions to really increase your chances of living your American dream through the EB2 National Interest Waiver. So I know that we covered a lot of different ways in which you can see whether or not you qualify for EB2 National Interest Waiver, and I don't want you to get overwhelmed. So I want you to reach out to us. I'm leaving the email below so you can reach out, contact us, write us, ask us if this is something that you think is the right way for you to get your green card.